How we doing, everybody? It is the B team. We are back. We got Mike over there. We got Muller over here. It is 7 days to Christmas. It is the week of Christmas. Christmas starts now. That's why we're winning bets.
Mm-hmm.
So I win bets 2 in a row, Mike.
There we go.
2 in a row.
Finally.
Granted, we did significantly drop the odds, but we won $50 over the last 2 days.
Numbers don't lie, man.
Numbers don't lie. We're back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're back. We're going to slowly climb. We're going to get this thing back. At the rate we're going, I mean, what's 7 times 25?
100 and
175.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
something like that.
Yeah, so over the last 7 days, we are going to win you $175. It's perfect. It's perfect. We're going to end in the positive, just like we did last year.
Listen, you can make most of your money back by all the Christmas presents that you've been getting.
Yeah.
For me, I got a big ass family, and all right, how do you feel about this? Because this happened to me on Sunday. So, shout out to Raven if she's ever going to listen to this.
That's so Raven.
That's so Raven.
Nice.
She got me a gift. I was not planning on getting her anything at all.
Ooh, that's the worst.
I
when
know.
when someone you aren't planning, like they're not in the plans and the funds, and they're like, "Hey, I got you a good gift this year," and you're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, like I told her, I'm like, why did you get me a gift? Because now I feel entitled to get you something.
Yeah, and it sucks because now you're at the point where you can't order something. That thing's not getting here in time.
No.
You have to go out and buy something.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hope something's out there because you don't want to be the gift card guy.
No.
You don't want to be the gift card guy. You don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, yeah, I forgot to get you a gift until yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a gift card. Have fun at Olive Garden. Like you can't be that guy.
So now I feel, should I get her something? I have to now. I can't let that slide. It's not right.
Can I ask you something, though, about this whole gift card thing? Is it okay to get a small gift with a gift card? Because I personally think that's good. Getting like a $100 gift card is cool, but at the same time, or even $50 gift card is cool, but at the same time, it's still like you're the gift card guy. But if you get them like, I don't know, like, you know those little bottles at Tanzo's?
The what?
You know, like the single bottles at Tanzo's?
Yeah.
Right? So if you get one of those and then a gift card, that's a great gift.
That is.
It's a great
gift. For
gift.
me, with gift cards, you have to be selective of how much and what type of gift card you're getting. So if you're getting just like a Visa gift card for $100, it's nice. That is good. Listen, any gift card, any present for me is good, but I don't like where the direction goes with it, if that makes sense. Like for me, it's like, get something, if you want to get some type of materialistic toy, say GameStop, or like get a gift card from the shop, like Cabela's, for example. Get a if someone's a big hunter, get a $50 gift card at Cabela's, something that they would like. If you're just getting me a straight gift card where I could use it on anything, it makes it a little tougher on everyone else, because then you're carrying it around with $37.15, and you're buying something for $50,
and you're taking it everywhere.
You're taking it everywhere. Yes.
There's no thought that goes into that gift card.
Yes,
right. Like
I
even
agree.
a Wawa gift card, there's thought, because it's like, oh, you
It's
go to
Wawa
Wawa all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I bought you 2 meals at Wawa, 3
Exactly.
meals at Wawa. Like that's a perfect gift. I ask for that every year.
Yep.
Because it's just like that probably saves me in the long run, I don't know, thousands of dollars throughout the year, just people getting me Wawa gift cards.
Mm-hmm. I think one of my favorites is, again, if it's for an adult, because you're not really getting gift cards for kids because they don't know how to use. All right, for example, all my nephews, they're video gamers now, so every time you get them like a GameStop gift card or Minecraft, Roblox, whatever it is, like they have to go on the back of the thing, they have to redeem it and everything. It's too confusing for the kids. You just got to get them something like GameStop. A $25 to $50 gift card at GameStop. It's like, oh my God, GameStop. And this is pretty much money where I could spend at GameStop. Like that is how you do it. For adults, like, all right, Mesa, they have gift cards. Like that's perfect for someone. Like Raven, I'm probably not going to get her that. I'll probably get her something golf related because she's now getting into golf. I'm like, all right, like we could, I have a direction of where to go.
Another good one for older people, not old people, but older people. Massage. Because think about it, everyone's hurting at this point of the year. We've gone through a long year, wear and tear on the body. Just get a nice massage,
like a little spa gift card. Like, so it kind of forces them to go to the spa.
Yeah, like it forces them to go and stop being a maniac for an hour. Yeah, you know, it's like a forced.
It's like live in the moment.
Yeah,
yes. They get rehabilitated in the moment where they go. But I would not, like personally, I would not get gift cards anymore. If it's if it's like a grandma or someone who still uses gift cards, like Soup would use a gift card, I would definitely get him one. But I'm not gonna give my dad a gift card. That's a smack to the face. to the beef baron. He loves that spot, man.
Dude, it's a great spot.
The beef.
Really good cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Chicken tendies, very good.
They redid that whole spot.
I know, it
used to
good.
be run down as hell. But
Yeah.
it was still really good before.
Yep. That's why I watched, I don't know if you remember when we took Cincinnati over Villanova in the Christmas parlay. And I went there with a couple of the guys, and we were watching the game. And that I still don't understand how Nova won that, but that's where I watched the game. Great spot to watch games. Because there's never, there's always people there, but it's never a crowd. It's a perfect spot.
Exactly. If Rivals didn't have that $50 free credit that I get because I work there, like I wouldn't be there on Sundays. I would 100% go to the Beef Baron because you have that bar, which is always obviously around. You have TVs all around there, so it's a perfect setup. Rivals, the thing is, their setup is magnificent. They have every single. That's why I go. They have every single game on every Sunday. Like you will not miss any games. It's perfect,
dude.
It's perfect.
Honestly, like you've been to Pints and Pies before. We gone there
in Bethlehem.
Yeah, I don't think that setup is as good as it could be. There could be way more TVs.
That's like a big game spot that you go to.
But it has to be one game. It has to be one game.
Yeah, when we went to see the college football championship, that was perfect because they had it everywhere. Yeah, like you can't be looking here for a TV and then looking behind you, missing way too much.
Yeah, like there's 4 TVs up there, and they'll have one game on for all 4 TVs.
Dude, you should come to Rivals on Sunday.
Yeah,
if you're not doing anything, it's a great setup. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. And I get credit on my.
You're paying?
Pretty much, dude.
Perfect.
I can.
I'll be there.
You're probably not gonna get food there, dude. You will get the Millers are like $5. You get like the big Millers.
Okay,
it's nice. Have like 2 or 3, and then that's it.
All right.
And then you'll probably have a couple shots because Andy will be there and Tom.
Dude,
you're gonna meet Tom. He'll buy you a shot.
I've been to Rivals one time, and Andy was working behind the bar, and before I knew it, he just had shots in my face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think that's where our night was going. But now I feel bad, so I have to take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the Ravens incident. You just have to do it.
Pull my leg.
Yeah. Twist my freaking arm, man.
But yeah, Christmas, dude. 1 week away.
I know.
I'm excited. A lot of football to come.
Yeah.
Let's get into this football that happened the last couple nights. We had Monday Night Football. The Vikings stomped the Bears, moving to 12-2. Falcons, I would say Falcons kind of stomped the Raiders too. A lot closer than it should have been. The special teams in that game was abysmal, like we've been saying all year. The Raiders easily could have won this game.
Yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
But you have 2 blocked field goals, or 2 blocked punts and a field goal blocked. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
We can start with that game.
Even with Desmond Ridder starting, the fact that they had a chance I think this game was more so like, what the fuck is good with the Falcons rather than how bad the Raiders are. I mean, the Falcons they won last week, but the previous 3 weeks they had 3 straight losses. Mm-hmm. I know we had a conversation about Michael Penix. I think it's time. Now I think it's time because they're going to be out of contention because the Bucs are kind of running away with it. They have an easy ass schedule leading up to the end of the year. I think they don't have a shot anymore. They just don't. They're not flowing. They're not running offense as good as they used to back in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And Kirk just doesn't look comfortable. I think he went 11 for 17. He threw the ball 17 times.
Yeah, it was.
I get it.
12 yards.
Yeah, Bijan, listen, he ran for 125. That's what you want to do. But I don't know if they're keeping promises to him, if they're just they need to play him for in-house drama that we don't know or obligations. But I think, you drafted Michael Penix, and he's going to start next year. I'm calling it now. I think Kirk's going to take a back seat, and I think they're going to give Michael Penix a shot. You're not going to waste first-round pick number 8 on a guy who you're not going to start maybe 2 years within his career. Like I think they need something different, and I think Kirk is trending towards being a veteran backup. Like, listen, the man could still start in this league, but I think it's time. You don't take a guy that early just to sit for 2 years. They did it with Jordan Love, the Packers, but I don't know. I don't think Kirk's going to win it next year. And if you want to win, Raheem Morris's job is going to be on the line. You got Brees, you got Bijan, you got Drake London. Like these guys, you don't want to waste their prime. You don't want to waste them like asking for a new contract. I think it's Michael Penix time in Atlanta.
I look at this team, and I had that written down as well, that the Falcons, there's no chance
there's no shot
they could bring
They're
back
done.
Kirk Cousins as a starter next year. Here's my worry. because, we've been saying this for a number of weeks now where Kirk Cousins just hasn't looked good. He looks old. Mm-hmm. He's not able to move. They're making fun of his shoulder fakes last night. I know they were trying to shout him out, but and it happened on a touchdown, of course, but that shoulder fake just doesn't work. It's not fooling anybody. He's old. He can't move. It's honestly awkward looking at him in that all-white uniform. It's a bit too tight for comfort.
Yeah.
Great. But I'm concerned about this because you would think, for a team that has, I believe it's the Giants, the Commanders, and the Panthers left, that's not incredibly tough.
No.
They easily could make the playoffs. They just got to win those 3 games. And it's concerning to me that Michael Penix is getting 0 looks. He's not even getting put into games when Kirk Cousins looks this bad. And I'm worried that, they're seeing Michael Penix every day. Is Michael Penix just not good? Did they waste an early round pick on a guy who, isn't going to be able to develop into a good quarterback? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're just holding him out for next year and they're, letting Kirk finish out this season, then going to, go take him out back and, end it for him.
Yeah. Just call the guys up.
But it's going to be interesting next year because, even week 18, let's look at week 18. They're playing the Panthers. That if they're out of the playoffs, you might as well give Michael Penix a run. If they don't give Michael Penix a run, I just feel like he's not the guy. Mm-hmm. I just feel like he's not the guy, and the Falcons might have put themselves behind the 8 ball for a number of years to come.
Yeah, immediate firing if they don't know how to use Penix or at least give him a shot. Again, but I understand why Kirk has been playing because they still – it's weird. Like they're not out of contention to win the division, which sounds bizarre, but we talked about this 2 weeks ago, and we were like, when is it time that Michael Penix is going to play? I'm like, it's not yet, like soon, but they were literally first in division 2 weeks ago, and they lost 2 in a row. Bucks jumped them. I think they're up now 2 games. But no, they're up a game because they won last night. If the Falcons would have lost yesterday, I think they would have waved the white flag and they would have given Michael Penix a shot. But they're still fighting for a divisional spot, and I think that's the issue why Michael Penix isn't getting those looks because they still have a chance. Yeah. But I think it's time, man. They're not going to give up, but as a fan, just on the outside, not obviously involved in the organization, like they're going to play Kirk. They're not going to give Michael Penix a shot, but he deserves it. I mean, next year, I better see him out there. I know they're paying Kirk a lot of money.
I was just about to say this contract I'm looking at right now. It's like a Russell Wilson contract.
Yeah.
So he has a potential out in 2026. It would be 2 years, $100 million, $35 million dead cap.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have a 15% cap hit next year at $40 million. And they're paying him way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
I mean, everyone again,
he's going to be making $30 million next year to sit behind Michael Penix.
And that's the thing, bro. Everyone knows that Kirk should be the starter just based off his contract and everything. I mean, look at Deshaun Watson, why he was starting all that whole season. I mean, he was fucking garbage, but just based off the obligations they had to his contract and Kirk or Deshaun. Like, how could you sit him if you're paying? It's like the Broncos sitting Russell Wilson and he's still on the team for 2 years and letting Bo Nix play. I mean, shit, it's helping, but I don't know. I think Michael Penix, he deserves a shot next year. And I think it's going to be one of those instances where Kirk, they're going to lose some games, and it immediately, is it time for the Falcons to switch to Michael Penix? It's going to be a headline or a topic for the Falcons all next season.
You know what's crazy is you could write this script because Kirk Cousins is not going to play in preseason. He's not going to play.
Yeah,
he might play 2 snaps, and then Michael Penix is going to light it up for 3 straight games. I think they only have 2 games next year. I forget, but he's going to light it up for whatever amount of games they have. Everyone's going to be calling for Michael Penix to start. Kirk Cousins is going to go out there week 1. They're going to get booed off the field. And then Penix will be the starter.
Or he's going to throw for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. Depends on who they play. Watch, they'll open up with the Panthers so that he can play. But actually, the Panthers will probably win that game next year.
Panthers will win.
I personally think that no matter what happens next year, if Penix starts, there's no way he could fail.
I agree.
You have the best running back in the league in Bijan Robinson. It kind of came to my head watching the game.
Stud.
Bijan's in a similar spot to Burrow. Team stinks. They're 7-7, have a chance to make the playoffs. They stink. They stink. And he's the best in his position in the league, but he will get no awards. He'll get some recognition from the streets,
Very
but not from the league.
Yes.
And but he's in the same spot. Bijan is the best running back in the league by far. You can't tell me anyone else. I don't want to hear about Monty. I don't want to hear about Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't want to hear about Saquon. You watch this guy play. And yeah, he might not be having the year like those guys are, but he is the best running back. He's the best running back. Saquon is playing the best. He's playing the best. He has the best numbers. That's fine. Bijan, I would take him on my team in a heartbeat.
If you're talking about
if
you're talking about best cowbell backs in the league, I think he's up there. Yes, Saquon is having a fantastic year. Personally, I would take Saquon over him. But Bijan,
imagine Bijan on the Eagles or Bijan on Detroit.
Yeah,
I think that's an improvement.
Yes,
because of his ability to go into the passing game, his ability to run the ball, his patience at the line of scrimmage is insane.
Unfortunately, he just plays for the Falcons.
Yeah,
they run like. Again, they're a very simple offense. It's feed Bijan, play action, let Kirk hopefully be protected by his O-line, and make throws. But my thing with Michael Penix here is there was a lot of stuff coming out of college about his injury history. Yeah. Obviously, I think he was either a shoulder injury or a knee injury that was really bad. And he obviously couldn't really be as mobile as he used to be. But I think him sitting this whole year and just making sure that he's getting healthy as all he could be, I think next year really gives him a better shot to at least get a start in one of those games. He's going to play in preseason almost every game. Kirk's not going to get any looks. And if Michael Penix is lighting it up in preseason, listen, you play him every single quarter, in my opinion. You're going to play him as much as possible. It's not going to be you're getting 5 possessions and that's it. I think they should play him, bro. I mean, you took a guy in the first round, a top 10 pick, you got to see what you have in him. You can't wait until week 1 to throw him in and hope for the best. Be like, okay, you had a lot of time to figure this out. Let's do it now. See what you have in preseason. You have Kirk to rely on, bro. Like, you got him the contract, but if Michael Penix is lighting it up in preseason, again, I know it's preseason, but if he's looking good and he's looking like he can be like a Tua, he can make throws, maybe run a little bit, because that's my comp for him is Tua. I feel like lefties, like you can only comp them to Tua or Michael Vick, but there's not another Michael Vick on the horizon anytime soon. I mean, Lamar's a righty, but regardless.
Shout out to Michael Vick, hired by Sacramento State. New head coach.
No kidding.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Happened last night.
Wow.
Yep.
Michael Vick.
Yep. He's back.
Yeah, he deserves a shot next year. Give him a chance.
I have his injury history right here. 2018, torn right ACL. 2019, shoulder fracture. 2020, retore, same ACL. 2021, shoulder AC joint separation. So, I mean, like, he has a great injury history. Mm-hmm. He's averaging 1 a year, so that's not bad. But they're all season ending, so that's a good thing. He's no high ankle sprain, so you don't have to worry about him hobbling around out there like Herb or Mahomes, where it's going to hinder the team. If he's hurt, he's going straight out. He's not playing another game that year.
Can he move? Can he run? Can he scramble? That is my only thing with Michael Penix. Like, I think he's going to be just as good of a pocket passer than a lot of quarterbacks in the league with protection, because that's what he did at Washington. I mean, he was dotting everywhere.
Yeah.
Can he move out of the pocket? Can he avoid sacks? I think
he can.
And that's the biggest thing, because I think that's what Atlanta needs, because with Kirk, there is none of that. There is none of that. Matthew Stafford at least can run when he has to, and Jared Goff. Like, they know that they're pocket passers, but if Michael Penix can scramble and at least just relieve himself from getting a sack, that's something. It's not a big thing, but to me it is, because Atlanta needs that. But you're depending on the O-line so much to keep you protected for every single pass attempt. Again, he passed for 17 times. Like, you got to pass a little bit more. I mean, the run game was working, and you're playing the Raiders, but when you're playing other teams where you're going to be passing 25 to 30 times, you're going to have to scramble a small percentage of those snaps. So that's my thing for the Falcons in general, because I don't think they stink, but I don't think they have bad players. I think they're very balanced on offense and defense. I think the O-line is good. Pretty much they pretty much won the game last night because of how Bijan did. I think they have defensive pieces. I think Jesse Bates is a stud, and they can kind of build off it. So I don't want to harp on it, but yeah, Michael Penix, give him a shot.
All right, let's move on here. So the Vikings beat the Bears 30-12. Vikings moved to 12-2. They are now 7-1 at home, while the Bears moved to 0-7 on the road. Just not a good road football team.
No,
you know,
they're done.
They're done.
It's ugly. It's getting ugly.
The Bears Caleb and the Bears are basically screwed until this team finds a head coach. The rest of the year, like, honestly, they should just protect Caleb and forfeit every game.
100%.
Because that O-line's doing nothing. The run
100%.
game is abysmal. I feel bad for anyone else that drafted DeAndre Swift because it's doing
for him, bro.
nothing. It's doing nothing now because that O-line doesn't create any holes. They got stuffed on 4th down and 1. I think it was 4 times in the first half, maybe 3 times in the first, 1 in the second. But he's running into walls. Even when Caleb tries to scramble, there's nowhere to scramble. He can't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
And I don't think it's a weapons issue for them. I think they have good weapons on the outside. Yeah. I mean, you have DJ Keenan. They're getting a little bit older. I just feel like their age is so up there. Like they just don't feel young to me. So, but no, sit Caleb. You've seen enough. You know he's your guy. Protect him, because now if you lose him, God forbid, he somehow gets injured in these last 3 weeks of the regular season, that's such a bad look on the team, man. Like, just sit him and protect him. Everyone else play. It doesn't matter. What are you playing for now? Like, you're going to have a high draft pick. You want to protect Caleb. Good.
I'm going to make an argument against that.
You think he should keep playing?
I think as the Bears, you've been such a crappy franchise for years and years. You've given these fans nothing to cheer about. If you bench him, you're just throwing in the towel. That's not what the fans want to see.
True.
They want to see you guys keep fighting, and you have games against the Lions at home, massive game at home, and then you got the Seahawks at home in prime time, and then you're going to have a game at the Packers where you could potentially knock them out of the playoffs depending on how they continue. I think it would be a mistake for them to sit him. I think, yes, they do have to start protecting him better, but at the same time, Bears fans would be so happy with the end of this season if they somehow take down the Lions and the Packers. Yeah. And that's not happening with Tyson Baggett from Shepherd University out of the PSAC.
Yeah, my guy.
But shout out to him.
Shout out to PSAC.
Big fan. Fan. But it's not happening with him.
Yeah.
With Caleb, there's a chance. He can still beat teams in the passing game. I think they got to do a little more play action with Swift. I think when they go to run the ball, I think it's very obvious that they're going to be running the ball. I don't think there's any trickery with this offense.
Nothing. Very simple.
And he's not really getting
bland.
It's a very bland offense. And his wide receivers, who are supposed to be seasoned vets, we got to stop dropping balls that hit you in the chest.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen had one that hit him in the hands.
He's one of the best catchers in the league.
And he would have been clean into the end zone.
Yeah.
Dropped it. I'm not saying that would have changed the game because at that point it was gone. But still. You can't be doing that as a premier wide receiver in this league.
I think over the time, what I've seen and what I've heard, just based off every analyst and just on Twitter I've been looking at, they're going to be in the run for Mike Vrabel. It seems like Mike Vrabel now is the favorite. He's like the guy to get, and rightfully so. I mean, listen, if the Jets got him, I'd be ecstatic. Now as I'm thinking of it, we need a guy like that. I think the Bears need a guy like that too. Mm-hmm. It's just when you look at that team, I feel like Vrabel is going to choose. I don't want to get into Vrabel here, but it's not a bad decision to choose the Bears over any other team because you have a young quarterback that was drafted first overall. I think Ryan Poles has done a really good job. I think ownership has kind of did like the Woody Johnson to Joe Douglas with him on some of his moves. I mean, Eberflus is gone. That guy should have never came back in the first place. But if they get the coaching right, I think they could win games. Again, that's a really tough division now. It's going to take some time, but at least give them a foundation to build off of. Because right now, I feel like they're just a crapshoot. Like, you don't really know what you're going to get with them. I mean, yes, they stink, but they have pieces that you could potentially get better. I think Caleb is the most important one. How are you going to figure out Caleb's development? Like, their problem is they're so bad with player development that they draft all these good players and then they make nothing of it because they just lose every single year. I mean, it's bad to see. It is. I mean, I know it because I see it with my own team. Like the player development, if you can't develop players, what the hell are we doing? Like, you got to find a good coach that can do that. Just find someone who's a motivator and not just the X's and O's. I don't think they need the X's and O's. They're going to get it with an OC, but they need someone who's going to develop these guys and make them physical as shit. And I think that's what the Bears need. Go back to like the 80s feel. Get that defense stout. Get that defense stout.
Yep, I agree. I think Vrabel will be very good. I'm looking at his stats as a head coach here.
Fantastic numbers.
And when he was with the Titans, he went to the playoffs 3 years.
For 3 years, yeah.
3 years in a row. He went there 3 out of 6 years that he was given there, and he went there in his second year there. In his first playoff run, he took down the New England Patriots away. He took down the Baltimore Ravens away, and then lost to the Kansas City Chiefs
in the AFC Chip.
In the AFC Chip.
Then they beat the Bengals.
The next two
got lost to the Bengals, I think.
Yeah. That was because then
that was the second year probably.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then the next 2 years, he lost to the Ravens first round, Bengals first round. Bengals went to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
and it's so when you look at the teams he was facing, Vrabel might have made it to the AFC Chip this year and might have won it with his teams.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one of those, it's like a Jurgen Klopp thing with Man City, just all of a sudden being shit.
Yep.
Vrabel would have been very good this year with Tennessee. I'll say it. He probably would have done well with Will Levis. I think Vrabel's a very good coach. I think if the Bears are lucky enough to get him, I think that team turns around instantly. Maybe not the first year, but at least it's a very tough division they're in. But second, third year, I think we're looking at a very good playoff team.
Mm-hmm. Because, listen, the juice is going to run out with the Lions at some point. The juice is going to run out with the Vikings. It's just going to happen. To have a sustainable organization where you're going to the playoffs every single year, that's hard to do. Yeah. It really is. But you got to compete. That division is probably the toughest division in sports. You got to find a way to compete with those guys. Again, you're playing them twice a year. You get one win from each team. You go 3-3 in your division, and you beat everyone else out of conference, in conference. You have a shot to make the playoffs. It doesn't matter what your division is doing. I mean, it does, but if you could just win games on your own, you have a shot, man. It doesn't matter. Beat them once, split with each team in the division, and then beat everyone else. It's not like it's an impossible task. They have players. They could do it. They just need to find coaching.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember that this Vikings team probably is not going to do this next year. It will not be this big of a runaway from the whole division. I think the Bears are going to be way closer. Way closer. I mean, the Packers are 10-4. I think that's kind of around about where the Vikings will be on their high end next year. Their low end, probably a mediocre, just below 500 team. The Bears can easily push for that second place spot because I think the Lions and the Packers are once again going to be back. It's going to be, all right, are the Vikings and Bears going to be able to produce next year or no? And I think the Bears have a more likely shot to produce than the Vikings.
I think the Vikings this year, watch out. I mean, we were texting
this year,
last night.
Yeah, we can get into the Vikings here.
Watch out, bro. I know we've talked about the Lions and the Eagles. I still think those are my two to get out of the NFC. No, I don't think any wild card team's coming out of it besides the Vikings. I think the Vikings, I don't know who they're going to play. They're probably going to play the NFC West divisional team.
So it's important to remember here.
Again, there's 3 weeks left.
We're talking about the Vikings are going to be the 5 seed. They'll probably end up playing. I'll say probably the Rams. Rams are going to win that division, but I don't know if they'll be able to get above the Bucs. Although the Bucs have a big game in primetime this week, but the Vikings are 12-2. I think it's important we don't overlook the fact that they're 12-2 and the Lions are 12-2.
Yeah,
there's a chance that the Vikings could
man.
pull this off and be the 1 seed, if not the 2 seed behind the Birds.
Yeah,
and
they can make it happen. They look fantastic.
I don't think we should write them off just yet.
No.
Sam Darnold is slinging the ball. He looks confident back there. They're running O'Connell's running a great offense. He's making it simple.
Like, follow, subscribe, back to the show.
My only concern is that last night we saw the old Sam come out a little too much.
Yeah.
Granted, he was overthrowing it, but that interception he threw. Come on, man. We can't be throwing ducks like that and going to Super Bowls. You got to just sling that thing out of bounds like you'd been doing all night.
Yeah, he had an off day, definitely. I mean...
Oh, I don't think he had an off day. I think
not an off day, but he had some miscues.
He goes backwards every now and then. It's 3 or 4 times a game, and you're like, oh, shit, he's seeing ghosts.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. I mean, listen, any team that's got Justin Jefferson on it, I'm not gonna write them off.
And Jordan Addison,
and now TJ Hawkinson is healthy.
Yep.
I mean, you can't write this team off. They're lethal on the offensive side of the ball. The defense is okay. I mean, but the thing is, they got Brian Flores. That guy's going to get a head coaching job somewhere, which is why I think they will take a step back next year. Granted, if JJ or Sam Darnold is the quarterback of that team, once Flores is gone, you're going to have to find a way to keep that defense as good as it is now. But I think truly they can beat any team in the NFC. I'm still going to ride with the Lions here, but if they play the Lions, if they somehow match up with the Lions either in the divisional round or whatever, they could beat them. I mean, they've seen them twice now this year. So wouldn't write that off. The Eagles, they could beat the Eagles, but I don't think any other NFC team, maybe the Bucs, they could pull off an upset in one of those teams because Baker's a beast. But
yeah, I think the Bucs and the Vikings are kind of in a similar boat where they could beat any of these top teams, any of them on their day. Like they could go off for 30, 40 points. I don't see the Rams being able to do that. I don't see the Packers. I don't see the Commanders being able to do that.
No,
I just don't think any of them are. They don't have.
They got to play perfect.
Yeah,
they have to play perfect.
Yeah,
perfect against any of those teams to advance.
The Packers would have to do that first drive they had on Sunday night.
Yep.
Over and over and over again to
Pretty
beat the Lions and the Birds.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the NFC is strong right now. I think we're going to be shocked when the playoffs come because there might be a team that's running the table and wins out of the NFC. You never know, man. Again, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. The Birds could have a shit day. That Jalen could look bad. He could have a bad Jalen day. Saquon could get stuffed at the line and not run. They can go through turmoil.
Have a little injury.
Yeah, little injury too. The Lions, Jared Goff could get rushed and he can get pressured, and they can't get the run game going.
Monty's out for the year.
The defense could let up 48 again.
Did you see that?
What
on Monty?
Yes, that's so unfortunate. Thank God I didn't bet that.
That is insane. Right on the number.
Shout out to Vegas.
Dude, the Lions had
wild.
the chance to do the funniest thing ever in like week 18.
Yeah.
Just run them out there for like the last play of the game and have them run for 1 yard.
Just 1 yard.
Just 1 yard. Just go down right away.
Dan Campbell would have the biggest nuts ever.
Literally just push Monty.
Him. That's it.
And just get the yard.
That would
be hilarious.
That would be a headline for like a week.
Yeah. Because everyone would know why.
Yes.
Everyone would know why.
I hope they do.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to say this now. If you have Jahmyr Gibbs on your fantasy team, God bless you. I have him on my non-playoff team, but that dude's going to eat. He's going to eat. He's going to light up.
We'll see. We'll see.
One of the best.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Now it's just Sonic.
It's tough to. Yeah, I know. It's tough to play by yourself. We'll see what he can do. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Comment and subscribe. Don't comment me about what the Cowboys are going to do this week. They're not going to win. Like, comment, subscribe.
Packers Seahawks.
All right, let's get into this Packers Seahawks game. So the Packers get the win in Seattle, 30-13. Dominant affair. I think it was the first quarter. I texted you. I was like, this Packers team's going to run the table.
Yeah.
They looked really good. That first drive was insane. Jordan Love looks great. I know I gave him a lot of shine on Monday's show, but Jordan Love is playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. Josh Jacobs behind him looks fantastic. He's unstoppable. The Raiders probably are kicking themselves that they let that man walk. I don't know. I just think this Packers team, just like we were saying about the Vikings, they're an interesting case because I don't think they could beat the top teams, but they could.
They're
on their
like
day,
Minnesota.
they could, dude.
They're just like Minnesota. They have a good defense. They just have switch coordinators. I think. Yeah. I mean, Matt LaFleur. Yeah. He's a mastermind. I mean, the plays he's running and the way he's scheming up run plays is amazing. Just watching that happen. It's not your typical shotgun formation, hand up and just hit the A gap, dude. They're pulling guards. They're double teaming nose tackles. They're having tight ends come into the play here with Tucker Kraft. I mean, they're set to have. That's why Josh Jacobs is snapping right now. The way their offensive line is scheming up the zone blocks, reaching the second level. I mean, and Josh Jacobs, that's a tough runner right there. I mean, he's shifty, but also is powerful. So it works for them, and that's what having a run game does. Because now Jordan Love can step back. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the way Jordan Love this drop step is so odd. It looks like a 60s quarterback. It looks like Bart Starr back there.
He loves throwing off the back foot.
Yeah, he does like...
He likes to throw a fade.
Well, back in the 60s and 70s, they wouldn't have that side drop. You know what I mean? They would like pedal back. They would step back like that. And literally, that's what he does. It's so crazy to see that is still being used.
Remember week 1 against the Birds in Brazil? Like 3 of his touchdowns came with him just backpedaling, and he's throwing it like this. Fuck.
Yeah, that could have been. Whew. Yeah, but like backpedaling. Like, when do you see that, bro? It's not uniform anymore in this league, but it works for him. And you know what? Shout out to them for just letting him do it. Like, imagine just trying to change that up. It's like your golf swing, you know something's working, and then you go get a lesson. It's like, you should do this, and then you're freaking duffing every wedge.
Yeah.
Like, let him do what he's got to do. If he seems comfortable, swing your swing. He seems so comfortable doing it. Let it rock.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest thing coming out of this game is Seattle. You know, they're 8-6. They're now tied with the Rams. They're in second place in that division, fighting to get into the playoffs. They're a game back of the Commanders. And they have the Vikings, the Bears, and the Rams, 2 away games to finish the year coming down the stretch. And Geno Smith is injured. They're optimistic that he's going to play Sunday, but I'm concerned that he's injured because their backup is Sam Howell.
Yeah.
If Geno can't play, his season's over. A great, what could have been a very, very, very good season leading to a playoff run is over.
I think Sam Howell has the strangest career of any quarterback that I've ever seen. At one point in Washington, he was a top 5 quarterback, like in week 13.
Yeah.
And they traded him.
Yeah.
Like, this dude, is he a baller? I don't really know. But just based off the numbers from when he was on the Commanders, I mean,
they were saying he was going to be their guy for years.
I thought he was going to be their guy.
Yeah.
From what he looked amazing. I mean, he gave me
unlocked Dotson.
He gave me Jameis Winston vibes. He did unlock Dotson. Like, he just slung the ball. Like, he'd have some picks, but he was throwing for 300 yards plus in multiple games. So I'm not saying that the season's going to be over. I hope Geno comes back because that's their best chance.
Yeah.
But for the future, are they going to go for a quarterback or are they going to give Sam Howell a chance? I don't know. Because they got weapons. I was thinking about this the other day. Remember when we had that fantasy football segment where we would go through receivers and we'd say if there would be like a top this.
Yeah.
JSN, I have been so high on this receiver, this person, for ever since he came into the league. That man is your wide receiver 1. DK is not your wide receiver 1 anymore. JSN has overtaken not only DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, he's overcome everything. He is a top receiver in this league, and he's going to be next year. For fantasy purposes, take him early. You're taking him in the second round. You're seeing his numbers now. He just needs a quarterback to throw to him. That's it. But I don't know where the Seahawks go from here. I still think they're not dead. Like, they are not dead.
No, by no means they're dead.
But it looks like they are by the way they played.
Yeah. I did not like Geno going down in the way that game ended.
Yeah.
I did not like that. And I did not like the way they started the game.
I think they actually have a shot to beat the Vikings, but they're going to have to play out of their mind. They're going to have to – if Kenneth Walker needs to come back and be healthy. Zach Charbonnet, you did great. Good job with stepping up the last 2 days or last 2 games. I mean, listen, they destroyed the Cardinals. It's not like they're a pushover team. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get with them. But they're like the Saints, but on the better end. Like, the Saints, they're going to lose some games. They're going to win some random game that everyone else had the other team and bet the spread on the other team. The Seahawks, I think, can beat these top teams. They just have to feed the right players, and they have to be stout on defense. Kenneth Walker coming back. The last couple weeks, they haven't been running Kenneth Walker like they have in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
He was a top 10 running back. That man is a difference maker. You got to get him involved. You have to get that man involved in the run game. Run a lot. Open up the pass game because you have JSN, Lockett, and DK Metcalf there. Again, that's one of the best trios in the league, in my opinion. Lockett took a step back, but Geno has his moments too, though. I think this is his last year being a Seahawk, at least a starter in this league. I think it's time you got to make a change because he doesn't have much left. It might not seem it because they're winning and they have a chance to win the division, but I don't think he's the answer anymore. I think his time's coming up.
Dude, with that trio up there of wide receivers, and you got a running back room that looks good. The O-line's not terrible. The defense is still good.
Better, yeah.
Like, there's quarterbacks you could go get this year.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that you can. And again, even if Geno, I don't know what his contract is, but you move on from him. You have Sam Howell who has experience, so you can at least play him for now. Mm-hmm. And if he's not doing good, you'll have a rookie that's probably sat for at least 3 to 4 weeks, and you could start him. There's a lot of good quarterbacks. It's a deep class. I think this is the year they draft one. I truly do, because Michael Penix was projected to go to them last year. This is the year they get somebody.
Follow, subscribe, follow, subscribe, back to the show.
All right, so let's look ahead to the weekend here because we have a big weekend. A lot of football to be played. A lot of very good games. So starting on Thursday, we got the Broncos-Chargers, and on Friday, college football playoff kicks off with Indiana and Notre Dame. I hope Notre Dame gets beat by 1 million. Saturday, We're kicking off the day with SMU at Penn State, whiteout game, playoff game in Penn State. It's going to be crazy. Texans at the Chiefs. Then we got Clemson at Texas. That game's going to be insane. We got the Steelers at the Ravens, basically for the division. And then we finish the night off with Tennessee at Ohio State. Massive game for the college football playoff. That's just Saturday.
Okay.
And then Sunday, we got the Eagles and the Commies, the Vikings and the Seahawks, the Niners and the Dolphins, topping off the night with the Bucks at the Cowboys in a game where the Cowboys can knock the Bucks back. You know, we go into Monday night and Christmas. But this weekend of football is insane.
I like these games this week.
Yeah, from Thursday to Sunday, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
I think just based off betting purposes here, man, I like this week.
Yeah.
I like this rapid fire. I might have to throw some couple bets in, a couple big parlays. But I like this Thursday game. I think this Thursday game is massive. I don't think people are realizing how big of a game this is because there's two teams that are fighting for that 6 seed and 7 seed respectively. I think the Broncos are they're gonna fucking destroy them. I truly do. I think the Chargers are hurt right now. They don't really have a running back. That defense has just been playing lights out.
Is Gus Edwards playing?
I think Gus Edwards is playing, but he didn't do a single thing in that game.
No.
And the receivers, listen, you just got to stop Lad McConkey and Quentin Johnston. That's really it. Will Dissly if you want, but
Will Dissly has looked good the last couple of weeks. He's come alive.
That's a team I think is going to draft a tight end in the first round, and that's going to be a big player for them. That's what Herb needs. You need a young dude in there who could run block, like a Tyler Warren would be perfect. He would be like another Hayden Hurst, but better, in my opinion. Because, again, Hayden Hurst was a first-round pick as well. But, no, I think what I've seen from the Broncos, again, that game against the Colts, dude, I didn't see that, by the way. Jonathan Taylor fumbled before going to the end zone.
Yeah.
I did not see that at all. Why did I not know what happened? That's bad. Yeah. I think he's been regressing. But, anyways, the Broncos, this team of destiny, it's one of those teams. It's the fun, magical team. Come out of nowhere, win games. I think they put a beat down on the Chargers. That might be my mortal. Yeah, I'm stuck between mortals now just because you said the slate, but depending on who you pick is who I'm going to take.
No, that's fair. I like this game a lot. I think the Chargers are going to come away with it at home.
Really?
I think Herb has just been playing too good, and I think this is a year where the Chargers are sneakily going to get into the playoffs and make a little bit of noise. Depends who they play in the first round, but I would love to see them play the Chiefs first round and just dominate them. I would love that.
Yeah. In
Chiefs Kingdom with a hobbling Patrick Mahomes. Shout out to him for getting that injury right on cue, right before the playoffs.
Right.
Just like every other year.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite game of the week is going to be this Texans-Chiefs game because I think that we're going to really see where both teams are at.
Yeah.
If Mahomes plays or he doesn't play, the Chiefs are still loaded. They're going to figure it out with whoever's at quarterback.
Andy Reid's their coach. They'll figure a way.
Yeah, if Mahomes is the quarterback, they're absolutely a great team. If not, they're still a very good team. But this Texans team needs to get on track here.
Yeah, this is a big game for Houston. I don't even think it's that much of KC. The KC already clinched. It's just finishing with the 1 seed. And if they don't, who cares? They're still going to be the Chiefs. They're going to be the one with the target on their back. How are the Texans going to look?
Yes, because they need to start putting games together. They have the last probably 8 weeks. They've struggled to put multiple games together.
CJ's got to step up.
Yes.
He hasn't looked like the quarterback he did last year. He's looked worse, but he's still winning games. But luckily, Joe Mixon is there. If Joe Mixon wasn't there and you had Damian Pierce or Dare Ungbawale there,
there's no shot.
There's no shot they would be. I don't think would even make the playoffs, bro. Like, he's got to step up. You got Tank, you got Nico Collins. Yes, Stephon Diggs is there. But listen, you had Nico and Tank last year. You did just fine. You made it to the playoffs. He's got to step up. I think it's more so on him rather than anyone else. That he's got the most pressure, I think, coming into the playoffs is CJ Stroud.
On Sunday.
I like that Bucs game, too.
That Bucs game.
That's gonna be a really good game.
It's gonna be a very good game because the Cowboys are actually playing good football now.
Playing for something.
Playing good football. They should be on a 4-game win streak. They should. There was no reason we lost to the Bengals. Absolutely no reason. They should be on a 4-game win streak, pushing for the playoffs, but they're not because. Don't want to get into it. Yep. You don't need to go down there. But I think they could beat this Bucs team and ruin a season. I really do. I think that Rico Dowdle's running all over teams. Cooper Rush, not great, but he puts together plays. He can put together like 3 or 4 drives a game where it ends in a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb catches everything. He's unstoppable. Brandon Cooks can't stop getting open. Mm-hmm. He can't. You got Schoonmaker out here just run blocking the shit out of teams. I'm actually enjoying watching the Cowboys the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And they're giving me some belief that next year could be very good. And this defense looks very good. Unfortunately, we're probably going to walk away from Asu, but is what it is. We're going to have to pay Micah. The Eagles and the Commies, though, massive game.
Yeah.
I think the Birds win this thing by 50.
You really?
Commies are going to get knocked out of the playoffs this week. This is where the downtrend begins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been happening, but the Commies are going to – this is where they start to realize, like, oh, shit, we're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a big game for them. I mean, listen, they saw them once. It was close going into the fourth quarter. It was very close. And then Dan Quinn pulled a Dan Campbell, went for on 4th down, which he should have never done in the first place. Completely changed the trajectory of that game. Mm-hmm. That one play changed everything. They were pretty much going to either cover or beat them. They had a chance. So it's not impossible. Like, they can do it. But if Saquon's hurt, maybe. But I think the Eagles are just still too strong. I think their O-line, again, Washington's defense is on the downward trend. I think the Eagles' O-line is just still
Eagles
so good.
Offense is dominant, dude. And let's think
Just
about what we just were talking about. This team plays better when they're just pissed at each other. There's controversy, people fighting on the sidelines, and they put it all together this past week. It was a great trifecta, and they are going to be. There's no stopping this team. They're not losing to the Commies. This game is in Washington. They're not losing to them. This is where great things happen for Philadelphia, like when they basically tanked on purpose. I don't know what the line is of this game, but the Eagles are covering it by double.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a close one. This is going to be an embarrassment for the Commies. This is where Jayden Daniels loses Rookie of the Year for sure to Bo Nix. It's over for him.
We got a lot of disagreements this week. But everything you said is right. I think the spread is probably like 6.5, something like that.
Yeah, so give me the Birds by 14.
Yeah, I'll probably take Washington. Just based off that first week, I just think they're going to make it. Or the first time they played.
When was that?
It wasn't too long ago. What, 4 or 5 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's long enough for me. That was long enough for the Eagles to really start getting pissed at each other and turn this thing around.
Yeah.
That 4 or 5 weeks ago, dude, that defense was actually able to stop someone. 4 or 5 weeks ago, Jayden Daniels was actually looking like an MVP type quarterback. 4 or 5 weeks ago, Dan Quinn wasn't a serial loser. He is now.
Yeah.
They hit Thanksgiving and they ate way too much. It got to their heads. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. It's fair. Christmas time.
They're the 7th seed, I believe, right now. I don't really know who's hunting them. Who would be hunting them? It would be Seahawks and Rams. So they have something to play for. The Birds do too. So
Seahawks, Falcons, Cards.
Falcons aren't winning shit.
7-7, Cards 7-7, Seahawks 8-6, Washington 9-5.
Yeah, so
they're losing this game. Then they're going to lose to the Cowboys. It's over for them.
I think
they're going to end this season 10-7.
Yeah,
and they're going to lose it.
Even if they don't make the playoffs, regardless, Washington fans should be happy with what they've seen. I mean, they haven't had a season like this in God knows how long.
Yeah,
but probably since RG3 era. But real quick on the Bucks Cowboys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Big game for. I think the Cowboys will cover. Because that defense is so suspect in Tampa. They cannot stop anything. They're going to have to rely on Baker, Bucky Irvin, Rashad White, and that offense to just put up points. Because that defense, even with Cooper Rush, I think Rico's going to have a fucking day. And CeeDee Lamb exists. So if Cooper Rush could just find CeeDee Lamb, again, that defense has not been able to stop nobody, bro. Mm-hmm. The Atlanta hung 31 up on them. Like, that's their downfall. If they can at least hold them to 21 points, 20-1 or 24 points, Baker's gonna light it up. I think he will. I mean, he's a stud. He just lit up a Chargers team that is in the playoffs and apparently has a better defense than a lot of other teams, which is bullshit. Baker just fucking put y'all on blast. It's gonna be the Baker Mike Evans show and their running game. Like, that's everything they've been doing for this whole year. If they do it again and again and again, they could win. They could definitely win this game. But I think the spread's going to be low. I don't know. I would probably take the Cowboys here, even though I think Baker and the Bucs are going to fucking dominate.
Yeah.
But I think their defense is just not going to be able to stop Rico. It's just not going to happen. They can't stop anyone.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, You see these drones?
Oh yeah.
Are we sure they're drones?
They are.
They're military operations, right?
Do you think they can coach the Jets? I saw something about the Jets and like drones affiliated. I was laughing my ass off.
The Jets should try just like reach out to the drones and see if they can figure out a scheme for them that would work.
Yeah.
The Jets did win this week.
Maybe they have like a little AI program where it can actually like it's like a Siri in a drone. Yeah. Like, who should the Jets hire? And they just like start just naming off like top guys. Like, this should be your number one priority. And you're like, Woody. You got to call Woody up.
Yeah. I just like this whole drones thing because now anytime a drone is in the air, everyone's like, oh my God, there's a drone. It's like, no, well, yeah, that's Joe Schmo's drone from down the street. He's looking over top of his house.
Charlie bit my fingers drone, dude.
Anyone that puts a drone in there, everyone's like, oh shit, there's a drone.
I might have to fly one over my dad's house and just like let it hover for about like 5 hours, bro. And he's just going to go on his rant.
Go ballistic.
Yeah. Coco Diaz called it.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. It's like, they were flying drones in Jersey.
Pterodactyls.
Pterodactyls. Is that the best comedian of all time?
No. No. Best like
one of the funniest comedians I know.
I would say best comedian making videos.
The best comedian of all time, in my opinion, is Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Easily.
I think it's like...
That's why, like, stand-up comedy is very different from, like, making short clips. Like that pterodactyl video. Like, that's a different type of funny. Being able to stand on a stage and just kind of have a conversation, and by having a conversation, making people piss themselves, that's a different type of talent.
Yeah, 100%. So when I went to that Ed Bassmaster show, I went to Ed Bassmaster, by the way, guys, in Northampton. Jesus, bad crowd. But a couple of guys... like YouTubers who make videos based off like characters or they do their skits like Chappelle. It's a different thing when you get on stage and you're just like shooting the shit. Like Ed Bassmaster was just going through his characters. It was funny. He brought on some other guy. That dude, get back in the lab, bro. You were bad. But to have skits like Shane Gillis and Tires and all of his other things, and Dave Chappelle and Theo Vaughn with his skits, Joey Diaz. Like, Joey Diaz is more like just stand up, but to have both, to be good at both, like Shane Gillis and Dave Chappelle, that's a superpower.
Yeah.
Bill Burr, another one. Like, those are probably my top three. It would probably be Chappelle, Bill Burr, Shane Gillis, Coco would be number 4, honorable mention. But I don't know how we got into that. But
Drones. Not sure how drones led us to comedy, but they are comedy. It's hilarious.
Up on the podcast, drones.
Yep. So Saquon Barkley jersey. It's going to be here tomorrow. We'll post some pictures with it. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be posting it on Instagram. You have to tag 2 friends and subscribe to the YouTube to enter. Yeah.
It'll be New Year's.
New Year's. We're going to pick it on New Year's.
Yeah, we'll pick it on New Year's or around New Year's. So we'll put some stuff out. Keep liking, subscribe already. If you're already subscribed, just comment, tag 2 people, blah, blah, blah. We'll go through the whole spiel for you. So.
All right.
Are we going to do the same thing as last year? The little bingo set? We should do the wheel. We should do the wheel, bro.
Dude, we have to do a wheel because there's too many people.
Yeah.
What are we going to... There's 219 people right now.
We're going to have to group them again. We'll have it like a tournament style. We'll have... Depending on what the total amount comes out to, but we'll have 4 to 6 people spin the wheel.
We should do that YouTube live. We should live.
YouTube live?
YouTube, and we'll just go through like a whole bracket.
That's fine.
We'll go through a whole bracket. I'll bring a whiteboard down here. We can write it all up. Then we'll erase everything.
You can use a chalkboard, bro. Oh, but we got to record it somehow. So.
Yeah. I think this would be easier.
That's fine.
And then we can just bingo this thing up. It's going to be like
the bingo set was giving me troubles last year.
Oh, it was miserable.
I was trying. I'm like, why the fuck is this not working?
Yeah, it was miserable.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out,
rough
though.
One.
That'll be really cool, though. If we break them up into groups like it's a World Cup, and then we have like 1A versus like 2F, and we just work our way through the whole thing, and then we do. Oh, that'd be awesome.
So it would be a single elimination. So whoever gets picked is moving on. No best 2 out of 3.
No.
That'd be kind of funny.
And when we do the bracket, so after they get out of the group, when we do the bracket, I think if you're the 1 seed versus the 2 seed, I think it should just go to even odds, and like the 1s are evens, the 2s are odds, and that's how we do it.
That could work. No,
nothing by
name.
I think in the bracket, because we're going evens and odds, we should do best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, well, we can do numbers. So like we'll number each of the participants that want the jersey,
Oh well, yeah, in the group. In the group, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, follow, subscribe.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Goodbye.